Hey, I bought up, boy. How's everybody? So, I'm gonna finish up with Ifa and then talk about Ifa first. Le mopel, c'est de bon mopel, l'entité mopel, yen mopel, benda mopel, orumala mopel, ogunda bede mopel, ogunda bede mopel, ogunda bede mopel. Ifa, please come ward off death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, lawsuits, and non-fights, ward off witchcraft, that may get avenged and come bring forth to us long life, give us good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all the good things of life. I share. Ifa, please support us on this Ifa day. Kosi kukusfo, kosi jamba, kosi temole, kosi dina, kosi wahala, kosi waboburo chira. Aurora, we accept these orobos from the region of the Itawalo, Tamato, Ashen. Orumila, Okunda Bede, Aboro, Aboye, Kosiku, Kosifo, Kositimule, Kositina, Kosiwahala, Kosifitibu, Kosiwa, Buru, She. Ifa, do you accept these? Will be with my next 5 days being right. We'll be up running. Sure. The type of vida Iraiku. Aje tutu. Apple tea. Resolve all these challenges that I faced. Guru Gwegwe. Guru Gwegwe D5. Guru Gwegwe. Apple is a sibling of Apple. Apple has now joined it, making it Apple. Or towards he can drink heretics, he can buy. Castify for Rani San, I will drink liquid success. Hey, I bought a boy, folks. How you doing? We just propitiated Ifa, and everything's cool. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about. Let me turn this light on real quick. I wanted to talk about Ifa and the subject of greed. So Ifa and greed, and the Odu that we've got today is Orangu meji or Ofun meji. So it goes like this. A kola nut breaker is expected to consume 2 kola lobes. The avaricious elder will consume 3. After consuming 3 lobes, he will carry his load by himself and move away. These Ifa's decorations to Ifa for the leader who would eventually become a follower. He was advised to offer elbow. He did not comply. Now, it was their inability to act properly and their refusal to speak the right words at the appropriate time. These were what turned the leader into a follower. It was their inability to act properly. So this story goes for this Ifa basically that there's a time that the Odu Ofun meji was first, and Ejiogbe was second. And the order went like this. Ofun meji was when these Odus were coming from earth to heaven, were coming from heaven to earth. Ofun meji was first. Epa, Ofun meji, Epa, Egaro, and Ose meji was second. Erete meji was third. Otura meji was fourth. Oturapum meji was fifth. Ika meji was sixth. Osa meji was seventh. Ogunda meji was eighth. Okawa meji was ninth. Ogunda meji was 10th. Obara, Urosu meji, and it's basically the order that we know now of the 16 major Odus. It was reversed. And like I was saying, Ofun meji was number 1 and Ejiogbe was number 16. And so what ended up happening, Ofun meji and Ose meji, they acted as a team to themselves. And whenever there was Ebo offered, Ofun meji would get the most of the Ebo and he would share it with Ose meji. And they would go on about their business and not leave anything for the other Odu Ifa, which would be the Omo Odu or the Omo Oju. They would leave nothing for them. So after this, when all of these bad things would be happening in the sense of Ofun meji taking all of the loot of every Ebo, every sacrifice, then what would happen is Ejiogbe would then invite all the other Odu Ifa to all of the other Mejis to his house and serve them with whatever he had. And Oyeku meji would be his deputy, would be kind of the second host to just kind of host everybody there. Hey, what's up? And as they would do this, then the 12 Odu that were left over, that were not Ofun meji and Ose meji, and they were not Ejiogbe and Oyeku meji, those 12 Odu decided to meet. And they were frustrated because all of the Odu, with the exception of Ofun and Ose, were having a problem eating. They were always hungry. And so they had a secret meeting. And in the meeting, they had a discussion of who they wanted to lead them. And in this meeting, they decided that they wanted Ejiogbe to be the leader, and they wanted Oyeku meji to be the deputy, because those two Odu Ifa had been the ones who were serving them during the time that Ofun meji would give them nothing. So, in essence, they did this meeting, and then they called Eshu Odara, and they asked Eshu Odara to sanction and give ashe to what they were doing and what they had planned. And what they basically had planned was to remove Ofun meji as senior and replace Ofun meji with Ejiogbe. So in this process, Eshu then decides to charge Ofun meji and seek out basically to check out the grievances of all of the 16 major Odu. And in the process, he realized that Ofun meji was being greedy, and Ifa calls it avariciousness, basically greed. And in that process, he decided to give ashe to what the Odu Ifa, the major Odus, had said that they wanted to do. So in that process, he took Ofun Meji and put Ofun Meji at the back, and then Ejiogbe became the first. So this basically talks about how the leader becomes the follower. Excuse me. And the leader becomes a follower as a result of bad leading, as a result of greed. So in essence, this Ifa is saying that greed, in essence, can... In Ifa says that greed actually kills more people than natural death. So anyhow, in this process, what's happening is, had Ofun Meji shared with all the other Odu, then everything would have been in balance. But because of Ofun Meji's avariciousness, everything was set out of balance. Another interesting part of this is just the fact that I've always heard about the story of Ofun Meji and how Ofun Meji was removed from his position as the leader. Many people say Ofun Meji is first in heaven, last on earth. And Ejiogbe is first on earth, last in heaven. And that's where we kind of get this idea. And that's also one of the reasons why we say, whenever we say Ofun Meji Epa, is to pay homage to Ofun Meji's position. But the key here is just, it is always the best thing to share with those who are less fortunate, and also to look out for those who are your subordinates. These are the things that Ifa is saying here. Anyway, so I wanted to inquire, does anyone have any questions about that? Because I think that that's a very valuable point that Ifa is making, is this Odu Ofun Ogbe? That's not Ofun Ogbe, but that's a great question, because I believe in the Odu Ofun Ogbe, it talks about an imminent struggle between Ofun and Ogbe. Like, they're going to have a fight, and what will happen is one will triumph over the other. Ogbe is going to triumph over Ofun and take its position. So yeah, Ofun Ogbe talks particularly about imminent struggle, or like a fight that this person can't win. And the reason why they can't win is because of their character piece. So I don't know, does anyone have any other questions or discussions about that Ifa? Yeah, so basically, Ifa is saying to always do your best not to be greedy. Because greed is something that will in essence kill you. When I think about some of the brothers and sisters in the quote unquote neighborhood, oftentimes in the sense of brothers and sisters who are involved in crime, and a challenging life, or even drug selling, things like that. Ifa is saying that in essence what kills them is not that life. It's not quote unquote selling drugs, it's the greed, so to speak, associated with the desire to get money at all costs. Shoot, when we look at America as a firm comment on American politics and American policy of greed, of capitalism, exploitation, and you can see the level of decadence as a result of, mature capitalism in America. I think that's definitely a firm comment on greed. But anyway, those are just some thoughts. If anyone has anything else that they want to share, please do. And also, today, my teacher, Eleegua Popola, is in town. He is in Los Angeles. He's been here for a week, so we've been doing Ifa initiation and also a Yemunja initiation. It's been a very empowering experience. So today he's speaking at the new Oturutuka temple. So I'm inquiring if any of you all want to come out. It's the South LA Oturutuka chapter, and it's going to be at I believe 5444 Crenshaw Boulevard. So if any of you are interested, please come and share and participate and enjoy. I guarantee you the things that Chief Popola has to say are extremely, extremely valuable. He has a wealth of information and knowledge. As a matter of fact, all the information that I share comes directly from him. A lot of the verses that I'm sharing with you, and particularly today, come from a really, really powerful book called Omoluabi. And Omoluabi is pretty much a book about the complete, basically, another word of saying it is Iniyangidi, and this is the complete human being. The human being who is, how do I say, the best of human being and the best that humanity has to offer. So I would say check it out, and I pray that everyone has a really good and wonderful week. Aboro aboye aboshishe alboto. Thank you. Let me see here.